Hi, my name's Jeremy. Welcome back to the SaxTuition YouTube channel. One of the most common problems beginners face on the saxophone is navigating the break. That is, the divide between the upper and lower registers. Having the octave key on or having the octave key off. Usually though, it's not the fingering that's the difficult part. It's getting the note you want to play in the register you intended to play it. In other words, sometimes you can want to play a low F and you end up playing a high F instead. Sometimes you want to play high and you'll end up playing low. And sometimes you'll find a way to split the difference between the two notes and invent an entirely different note for yourself. So if any of this is familiar to you, stick around because this is the video for you. Now, a common misconception about embouchure is that once you're able to produce a sound on the saxophone, that's it. It stays locked in place. And on the face of it, it sounds like good advice. After all, if we change things up too much, our sound will start to become really inconsistent and the pitch will start wobbling everywhere. But what you may not know is that professional players make hundreds of small adjustments to their embouchure throughout any given performance, on the fly and without any conscious thought involved. Just watch these famous players as they perform. See how they make small adjustments to their embouchure as they play. You can see it clearly if you watch their jaw, their throat, even the angle of their head and neck. And whilst it's not possible to tell all of the little things that are going on with their embouchure just by watching them play, you can certainly tell that they're making these adjustments along the way. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Well, in general, when you're playing the saxophone, you want to relax a little bit more on the lower notes with your jaw and your bottom lip, and you want to support the notes you play in the upper register by bringing everything just up slightly. At the same time, your throat is changing position too. Now, in my last tone tips video, I spoke about the importance of imagining yourself singing as you play. As you get into the lower register, your throat opens up. You're really thinking about warm air, like you're yawning or singing the note you're trying to play. As you play higher on the saxophone, the whole shape of your throat starts to change too to support that higher range. Remember, as far as the air is concerned, the saxophone instrument actually starts in your lungs. And what you have is a long pipe going up through your body into the mouthpiece and down into the saxophone. So what you're doing on this side of the instrument is critically important to getting a strong tone. Now, it sounds like an awful lot to remember, but these are all techniques that will come quite naturally to you before too long. And better still, the way to practice it is remarkably simple. Long tones. Now, long tones aren't just a beginner exercise at all. It's a lifelong exercise that every saxophone player does to constantly refine their sound. When you're practicing long tones, all of the distractions of playing the right notes and the right rhythms fade away, and you can just focus on what's most fundamental to playing the saxophone, your tone. It's here where you can try these techniques we talked about until they eventually become second nature to you and you don't have to consciously think about them anymore. Remember, for low notes, drop your jaw slightly, but keep your lips on the mouthpiece like a drawstring. Open your throat. It's very difficult to do this consciously, so imagine like you're singing a low note or you're yawning. And as always, think about using warm air as you play. For notes using the octave key, try to support the note by bringing your lip and bottom jaw up slightly. Imagine you're singing the note you're playing, even if it's totally out of your vocal range. And like your low notes, keep using warm air. If you practice these techniques during your long tone practice, pretty soon you'll begin associating the feel of your embouchure with the range of the saxophone, and the response will start to become automatic, just as it is with the professional players that we looked at. Now, there's one last thing I think I should mention. A lot of saxophone players have a habit of playing sharp in the higher register. In fact, it's one of the most common problems intermediate players have. That's because there's a fine line between adjusting your embouchure up slightly to support the note and doing it too much, which actually squeezes the reed, hampering your sound and making the pitch go sharp. If you want to avoid this trap, I recommend downloading a tuner app to your phone to help keep this in check during your long tone practice. Personally, I like the Clear Tune app because it's very accurate, it gives you a very clear representation of your pitch, and I know a lot of other professionals that use it religiously. It is $4 or $5, which I personally think is money well spent. However, if money's tight, there are a number of other free apps available for both iOS and Android. Guys, I hope this has been useful to you. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments section below. And if you're just starting out on the saxophone and you're looking for clearly laid out lessons and plenty of fun songs and exercises to play, check out the SaxTuition Beginner Series. It's a complete package for learning the saxophone from scratch. There's 3 hours of lesson videos, over 200 demo tracks, and a 68-page ebook, so you'll always have something to play. Better still, you can watch the first lesson for free on YouTube, and I've put a link in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe to SaxTuition on YouTube for more great saxophone content. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all again soon.